Phase 3 of SoD is here, and we're going to look at how to succeed as an Elemental Shaman, starting off with the stat priority. First and foremost, the enemies or bosses in Sunken Temple will be 2 levels above your level, meaning we need to get to a spell hit rating of 5%, so that of course our spells actually land on the bosses. Next up will be spell damage. Of course, this is very straightforward. The more spell damage we have, whether it's spell damage, fire damage or nature damage, it doesn't really matter too much. Some skills will scale with it a bit better than others. Overall, it's a great stat for us. Then we've got intellect, which is actually going to give us some spell crit and mana as well, and then spell crit on its own coming after that in the priority list. And lastly, MP5. Of course, most of our talents are going to be in the elemental tree, and we're going to actually put everything in on the top row. So 5 out of 5 into convection, reducing the cost of some of our spells, and then 5 out of 5 into concussion, increasing the damage of a lot of our spells. That's going to be lightning, chain lightning, and our shock spells, which do form a big part of the core rotation. We're going to put 3 out of 3 on the next row into Call of Flame, increasing the damage done by our fire totems by 15%, and then going down 1 more into Call of Thunder, 5 out of 5 into there as well. This is going to increase the crit chance of some of our core spells by a further 6%. We're also going to cover the rest of this row off, putting 5 out of 5 into Reverberation, reducing the cooldown of our shock spells by 1 second, and Elemental Focus. It's going to give us a 10% chance to enter a clear casting state. A lot of classes actually have this. Basically, clear casting, when procced, means that your next spell won't cost any resource. For us, that's mana, when you cast it, and you get a free spell. Going down, we're going to get to some really powerful talents down here. 1 out of 1 into Elemental Fury, increasing the crit strike damage bonus of your Searing, Magma and Fire Nova totems, and your Fire, Frost, Nature spells by 100%, doubling the already double crit damage we do. We're going to put 2 out of 2 into Storm Reach, increasing the range of our spells, and then 5 out of 5 into Lightning Mastery, reducing the cast time of our Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning by a further 1 second, and 1 out of 1 into Elemental Mastery. This is a fantastic 3-minute cooldown we have that, when activated, gives our next Fire, Frost, or Nature damage spell a 100% critical strike chance and reduces the mana cost completely. We have got 8 more points that we can use. I'm going to go into the enhancement tree, putting 5 out of 5 into Ancestral Knowledge, increasing our mana by 5%, and then put 3 into Improved Lightning Shield, increasing the damage done by our Lightning Shield Orb. If you want a bit more mobility, you could put this into Improved Ghost Wolf instead, for instance, or even Elemental Warding, reducing damage taken from fire, frost, and nature effects. But that is entirely up to you. There is a reason outside of just the plain simplicity of increasing damage done with our Lightning Shield, by the way, and that is going to be coming from one of our new and exciting runes that we'll be getting. Speaking of the runes then, let's actually have a look at which ones we'll be choosing. So on the gloves, we are going to be going with Lava Burst, you whole molten lava at the target, dealing damage, which is of course fire damage. If your Flame Shock is on the target, it's going to guarantee a critical strike from Lava Burst. So we always want to be keeping up our Flame Shock on our target. And we've got a new exciting rune that's also going to do something with Flame Shock coming up soon. On the pants, we're going to be putting Shamanistic Rage, reducing all damage taken by 20% and regenerating mana equal to 5% of max mana every second for 15 seconds. Your party and raid members will also receive 20% of the mana you receive this way. It is the absolute best. It's great for the party and it's great for you. On the chest, we're going for Overload, giving your Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and then your healing spells, and Lava Burst a 50% chance to cast a second spell at no additional cost, but at half the damage. This, of course, is therefore passive, needs no extra buttons, and is going to do a nice bit of extra damage now and then. Speaking again on Flame Shock, we're going for Power Surge on the waist. Each time Flame Shock deals damage, it's got a 5% chance to reset the cooldown on Lava Burst, which, remember, if Flame Shock is on the target, is guaranteed to crit, and Chain Lightning, and make the next Lava Burst Chain Heal or Chain Lightning within 10 seconds instant. Additionally, every 5 seconds, you gain mana equal to 15% of your intellect. On the feet, it's kind of up to you. You can go with Spirit of the Alpha. It's quite a utility rune that you can use on the party or on yourself. You can infuse a target with the Alpha Wolf, increasing threat generated by 45% for 30 minutes. You can put this on a tank to help them generate threat. You can also cast On a target other than yourself, the Shaman also gains a loyal beta, increasing physical damage done by 5% and reducing all threat generated by 30% for 30 minutes. A target cannot have both Spirit of the Alpha and loyal beta at the same time. You could also go for the decoy totem, summoning a totem at the feet of you that will redirect the next melee or range attack made against the target to the totem instead. I think Spirit of the Alpha, the fact that it helps out the tank, etc., and yourself so much, I just think is the way to go. Now getting onto the interesting new runes, you've got Burn on the head. Your Flame Shock now strikes up to 3 targets. Remember, Flame Shock, there's crits involved. You've got your Power Surge, where when your Flame Shock does damage, it's got a chance to reset the cooldown on Lava Burst, etc. Flame Shock is now an AoE because of this rune, and it is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. I think they've done an amazing thing by adding this one in. And last, we've got on the wrist, which is where I spoke about the Lightning Shield. We're going with Rolling Thunder. Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning have a 30% chance to add an additional charge to your active lightning shield, up to a maximum of 9 charges now rather than 3. Earth Shock now releases all lightning shield charges above 3, dealing their damage to the target and energizing you for mana, 2% of your mana per charge released, which is fantastic. I've always felt personally that with things like Lightning Shield, it's always doing damage when you get attacked, but in raids, etc., no one's attacking you, so it kind of is a waste. And I think runes like Rolling Thunder that give us a way to release those charges onto our target to do DPS is phenomenal and is a really fantastic way, honestly, just like making the spec feel more whole. So now that we've looked at all that, how does it all come together into a rotation? First and foremost, of course, make sure all your buffing totems, etc. are up. And then we're going to use Shamanistic Rage on cooldown. I do want to say, however, you don't want to be using this straight away when you've got maximum mana. You want to be using this when you've got enough mana that you are going to actually recoup it. Then we're going to use our Elemental Mastery on Chain Lightning on cooldown. Can get a bit mana intensive with that one. Flame Shock, of course, should always be on our targets, including when we're doing AoE to make our Lava Bursts crit. Of course, once we've got that up on the target, we're going to use our Lava Burst on cooldown whenever we can. Of course, then making sure that we are doing that as long as there is a Flame Shock on the target. We don't want to be doing Lava Burst without Flame Shock. Chain Lightning on cooldown, unless you're getting mana intensive and you're having issues. But when you get a free one from Elemental Focus, then you can use it at that point. Otherwise, just use it, on CD. Lightning Bolt is going to be the filler. And then whenever you've got to move, you can use your Earth Shock, or when you're going to release those charges from your Lightning Shield, which is, remember, only at above 3. And that is it, guys. That is how you're going to play Elemental Shaman in Phase 3 of Season of Discovery. I hope this was useful for you. If you do need any more help, feel free to join the Discord. We've got a really active and friendly WoW community in there, playing both retail and SoD, especially now that Phase 3 is launched. And if you would like to support the channel, or if you'd like some extra help from me, then please do consider joining my Patreon. There's a link down below for that as well, where you're going to get an access to a VIP channel in Discord that's for Patreons only. You can message me on Patreon. I post blogs on there, and I also give you a lot of behind-the-scenes content, WoW spreadsheets, and my LVI setup, and all things like that. Do check out my channel if you're looking for other SoD guides, as I do have a shelf here, current guides that is always updated with the latest ones. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in SoD Phase 3.